Hi everyone, my name is Marian, your technology friend. Today, I want to show you what's on my iPhone 13 Pro and how I organize my home screens, the apps I use, and maybe you get to discover some useful or cool ones. I also wanted to show you the widgets that I use, and interestingly, I wanted to show you some shortcuts or automations that I set up that I think are pretty cool and amazing. So, let's get started. This is what's on my iPhone 13 Pro. To get started, I wanted to give some quick, fun features. My wallpaper is the stock wallpaper for the Sierra Blue, and if you didn't know, some of the wallpapers of Apple, if you press and hold, it actually animates just like that. Also, when we go to the notification center, did you know that you can actually swipe right and click options and choose to mute notifications or completely turn them off? So if you have annoying apps that send so much notifications, you can do that. Okay, so let's dive right into the phone now. So my home screen one is what I call my personal home screen. It has all my personal entertainment, shopping apps, everything that I use when I'm not at work. It has an interesting layout. Widgets are here at the top to push apps down close to where my right thumb can reach because I am right-handed. The first two at the top are static widgets. They do not rotate because I need them to always show calendar and battery information quickly. And the third widget is my variable widget because it has more than one. It is within my reach, the reach of my thumb, so I can easily scroll through the widgets. Right now I have Lock It, Fitness, and Weather. Now, Lock It is interesting. It's kind of like your Instagram close friend story, but on your home screen as a widget. You can invite a few friends and you post pictures for them to see. It's very personal, very nice. Actually, let me send a Lock It to my friends. And showing you guys. That's you. Now, like I said, this widget stack do not auto-rotate because I mainly want Lock It to be the main widget. And if I just want to see the others, I just scroll. Next, apps. My apps are organized by folders and icons. Icons are apps I want to access with just a tap. Then everything else, I keep them in a folder because I don't need to quickly access them, or I intentionally want to make it harder to access, like shopping, if you know what I mean. As for my first few apps, we have Settings, Mail, Photos, Camera as icons so I can quickly go to them. Interestingly, if we go to my settings and go to battery health, it is still at 100% after 5 months of owning this phone. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna go down now because I said it out loud and I jinxed it. But yeah, it's still 100%. Next, in terms of banking and finance, I mainly use ING and Tonic because of that higher interest rate deposits. But I also use Union Bank, BPI, PayPal for my international transactions, and GCash, of course. Like, GCash has trampled PayMaya so bad, I have no idea how they did it, but it is an interesting business case to look into. Now for shopping, which I rarely do now, except for some things I bought recently for a wedding. Now, weddings are expensive, even though you're just attending. And oh yeah, I also got really into accessories lately. That's why I have Shane. It's very cheap there and they always have free shipping, so I always get things from there, but just the cheap stuff. Next, I have my media apps, which mainly consists of YouTube, Netflix, and news. For social, I have the usual, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook Lite for my other Facebook account, and TikTok. I mainly use Instagram now because it is less toxic. Now, Twitter, I'm just annoyed that people try to be too woke and hypocritical of their beliefs. And TikTok, I rarely use now because it's really a time hogger. It's quite unhealthy. I might even delete it because I don't use it anymore. Next, we have my messaging apps. I have the usual, Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, and Viber. Top tier messaging app for me is Telegram. It's super fast. It has really fun features on there, and Viber is the worst because I think it looks terrible. My utilities folder include my smart home apps because I do use a smart bulb and a smart plug for my electric fan, and I have Tether, which is the app for my router, GOMO and GigaLife for my GOMO and Smart SIM cellular management. By the way, I got like 70 gigabytes of non-expiry data on my GOMO and Smart SIM. I bought it for less than $1,000, and then honestly, I think it would last me 2 to 3 years. Now imagine you're in a plan that costs 1,200 pesos every month. I spent less than that and it's good for 3 years. Plans are absurdly costly. And lastly, I have Converge's new Go Fiber app where you can pay your bills, see how many are connected to your router, its temperature, and signal strength. Now it gives nice information, but sad to say, it's so buggy and terrible. And lastly, we have my music and Overcast for my listening needs. Before, I'm pretty much like 90 podcasts, 10 music. Now I'm pretty much 50-50. And I like Overcast as my podcast app of choice because they have the smart speed and voice boost features like this, and the other competitors don't have those. Now before we go to the second home screen, let's go through my dock. Now it's very basic. We have the phone app, and if you haven't seen a dual SIM iPhone, here's how you switch from line to line. And if you notice at the top right corner, we have 2 signal bars. The top one is the one you use for cellular, which for me is smart, and if we swipe down from it, you will see the 2. I have Smart and GOMO as my backup, which uses the Globe network, so wherever I am, I can leverage the best network in an area because I have both major telcos on my phone. Next, we have the Message app. You know this already. We have Safari, and top tip. If you have a lot of tabs and you want to quit every single one, you don't want to swipe each one or close each one. You can actually long press done like that, and I have 31 tabs, and close all tabs. And when you are in a page, you can actually just press and hold the tabs icon as well, so you can close all 31 tabs or just close that tab or start a new page. Actually, when you long press and hold a lot of these, like the bookmarks icon, it shows you some shortcuts as well. You can even add bookmark for 31 tabs. That's very messy. As well as the back button, you can long press and go back multiple pages. And yeah, I've been researching a lot of chocolates, the usual. Now, if you would like me to create a separate tips and tricks video, let me know by commenting down below. I feel like there's so much hidden features on iOS that are not user discoverable at all, and I can show them to you. And finally, on the dock, I have my Fitness Pal for counting my calories since I am trying to lose weight with a target of 150 pounds on easy mode and 140 pounds on hard mode. So that is completely what's on my personal home screen. And before we go to the next screens, I want to show you what is literally on my iPhone, and that is the case. So I've been using this slim case for the past week or two, and I've been enjoying how it feels like I have no case at all. Oh, and by the way, I'm not saying that this is a generic slim case, but literally the company name that made this is Slim Case. Now this case is super slim, obviously. It's only 0.38 millimeters thin. I see competitors out there having 0.4 millimeters, so this is the thinnest case you can get on the market, but still protects your phone from drops. It is trusted and used by over 10,000 customers from countries such as Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines. It is made from an improved material they created called Armor Plastic, and this is the reason why it is hard enough to be durable, but soft enough for shock absorption when dropped. They guarantee that this material would not yellow over time, and they assure you by providing a 2-year warranty, which means if anything happens to the case, they will send a free replacement. This is literally written on their website. So check the product out if you want to try it. I will leave their link in the description below, along with a special 25% off discount code that they gave me, and that is Marion25. So go check them out if you're curious, and don't forget to use my discount code Marion25 to get 25% off of your purchase. Alright, now let's move on to the second home screen, and there's not much here. This is what I call my stocks home screen. I'm pretty basic here. I'm not that great at it, but I like to dabble on it because I want to make money work for me and not me working for money. Right now, the market is terrible because of the Russia and Ukraine crisis, which hopefully doesn't escalate to really bad levels. So yeah, some investors might think that this is the perfect time to invest because the market is crashing, which you can gain a lot of profit once it bounces back up, as long as you invest in the right companies. So like the first home screen, I have a widget up top to bring down my apps. Then I have iOS's stock stocks app. I have my calculator app in here as well because we're working with numbers, USD conversions, etc. eToro is where I trade stocks, and MarketWatch to read articles about the stock market. And oh, I trade US stocks, not PH stocks, and definitely not crypto. Next is my third home screen. So my home screen number 3 is normally hidden and will only show when my focus mode turns into work or my personal work mode turns off. So my work home screen is pretty simple. It's a big calendar at the top to know my next appointments or meetings, then just all your usual Office 365 apps at the bottom. Okay, so next one, just quickly, I want to show you my widget page. I just have the weather widget that tells me if it will rain. The weather now looks terrible because I use the sun to do my laundry. And we have the battery widget again, but in its big form, so I can see extra info like the percentage, more fitness details, stocks, and a big Locket viewer, and Google Photos. Now I want to talk about the automation that I do on my iPhone that I think is pretty cool and is something you can implement as well. So my first shortcut is cellular data automation. So basically this first automation revolves around automatically turning off or turning off cellular data at the right time and place. Like when I'm at home, cellular data needs to turn on because I have Wi-Fi. When I'm out on the road, it needs to turn on. And when I'm at work, it needs to turn off again because we have Wi-Fi. So first, for cellular data to automatically turn on when I'm going out the house, I have created an automation that turns on cellular data when it detects that I have the driving focus mode turned on. But then what automatically triggers my driving focus mode? So my driving focus mode is automatically activated with CarPlay. So when I get into my car, my phone auto connects to my CarPlay display, my driving focus mode turns on, and my cellular data turns on. Pretty cool, right? And oh, also one thing, I turn off ask before running that you see here down here and notify when run, so it all happens automatically and I don't receive any extra notification just to see that it happened. Next is, let's say I go out but then I go back to my house and I don't need cellular data sipping through my battery because you gotta preserve that battery health, right? So that's where this second automation comes in. My cellular data automatically turns off when the personal focus mode turns on, and the personal focus mode is automatically turned on as well using my home's location, because you never really have a fixed time of coming home, so we have to use the GPS to activate this. So once it detects that I'm home, it turns on personal focus mode and it turns off cellular data. Now the next two automations is basically the same thing but with my work's location. If it detects I am near my work location, it turns on work focus mode and turns off cellular data. And if it detects I'm moving away from my work location, it turns on cellular data. Next are my home automations. So I have a few in here. One of them is when I leave home, it automatically turns off my fan and light. So if I forget anything to turn off, it does it for me. I also have an automation when I arrive at home. So usually I go home after work at around 2 a.m. I go to my room right away so I can switch clothes and freshen up. So I want my light to automatically turn on for me when I arrive home. Now what about if I go home on a weekend at 3 p.m. when there is sun? I don't need light at that point. Well, this automation has a setting that only turns on at night. And it actually detects the sunrise and sunset so you can make sure that it is nighttime. Then my last two automations here, these may vary depending on what time I turn on and turn off my aircon. So I put a timer on my AC to turn off at 12 noon because I wake up near that time and I want to save a little bit of electricity. But that is 12 noon and it is freaking hot in the PH at that time. So I want my fan to automatically turn on when my AC turns off. And so I just ask Siri to turn on my fan at a specific time and voila, that is the third automation. I also asked Siri to turn off my fan a few minutes after I turn on the AC, which is the fourth one you see here. Turn the electric fan on at 3 a.m. So there you go, those are my automations and home screens. I hope you enjoyed watching what's on my iPhone 13 video, and if you did, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos just like this. Also, leave a comment below on what video topic would you like me to discuss next. By the way, shouts to Javion for following me on Instagram. If you want to get a shout out as well and you find my content useful and informational, consider giving me a tip on Buy Me a Coffee using the link in my description. Also, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook with the username @Mauyoni. While waiting for my next videos, click on this playlist right here to watch more of my Apple content. Alright, so that's it. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Marian, your technology friend, and I'll see you on my next video.